my duty to announce that we held an executive session prior to the meeting at 6:30 p.m. to discuss personnel and legal issues. Everybody please stand as we I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mrs. Bromowski.
Mrs. Kozer? Here. Dr. Laughlin? Here. Mrs. Maines? Here. Mr. McCommon?
Here. All one piece right now.
Mr. Merle D. Music?
Here.
Mr. Merle L. Music?
Here.
Mr. Rexko?
Here.
Dr. Dorch?
Here.
And Mr. Hauser?
Here. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the floor up to hearing of visitors part 1. This is an opportunity for individuals in our audience to stand up at the podium, state your name and address, and speak of anything on our agenda for this evening. Seeing no one, we'll move on for adoption of resolution number 137, approval of the minutes.
So moved. Second?
Motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes. Solicitors report, Mr.
No
Nichols.
report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Education and Planning, Mrs. Maines.
Yes, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Kozart to talk about it.
Hi, thank you. I would like to recognize Ryan Rusevsky, who is our student of the month at UWCTC. Ryan, can you come forward? Mr. Wilson, would you like to say a few words, or Mr. Campbell? We have both the principal from UWCTC here this evening and his teacher. So Ryan, first another certificate. He was our December student of the month. We're incredibly proud of him because he's a fabulous student. So thank you. Thank you for your hard work.
Oh, wow.
Come on, Mr. Wilson.
Take notes, Ryan. It takes, you teach for a while and you get lots of different types of students. Essentially in construction, I'm not familiar with a lot of you are with it. It's good to have academic skills and physical skills, and then the third skill, be successful. Ryan is, I'm pretty sure, a 4.0 student, so academically he has that skill. He's as strong as an ox, so physically he meets that. But there is one skill that a lot of youth lack today, and that is drive. And if I had to describe Ryan with one word, it would be that. He actually pushes me a lot. I'm busy with a full shop of kids, hungry to learn. I mentioned at the last board meeting, he's the only high school student I've ever seen that carries a code book with him. But where he ends up is to be determined. I see him running large projects or owning a company that performs big commercial work because his knowledge is so vast. But that drive will take him a long way, so congrats.
Earlier today, Ryan is everybody talks about actions speak louder than words, and he is to a T. Just talking to him today, just about random things, and so how's second quarter go? And oh, okay. And how are your grades? Pretty good? Yeah, all A's. Actually, 100% in all my classes. I said, really? He's like, yeah, when you care about something, you just go get it. And that is exactly right. And, like what Mr. Wilson said, I mean, there it is. So,
Ryan, before you leave, could you share what your future plans are? Because we don't get to see that very often here. We educate many kids, they graduate, and we hear through the grapevine what happens to them. But to have an individual student from EWCTC, because I get to see it every month, the phenomenal future these kids have. So, would you share what your plans are?
Right now I'm kind of a little bit like undecided at the moment, but I do have some general ideas. My first option is I might join a bricklayers union, go there and hopefully become a company man and run jobs and everything, or I might stay local and work with the local plumber that I know, or, I mean, those are my two options. I just want to give props, and I just don't want to talk a little bit, but give props to Mr. Wilson and Mr. Campbell. And, you know, I know the teachers get it, you know, some of them carry on topic, but I just want to say how great they are. And, you know, they really both have helped me to, Mr. Wilson's helped me to push myself to my limits and really reach for, you know, everything and anything. And I don't think I'd be standing up here talking to all these important people if it wasn't for Mr. Wilson. So I just want to say thank you, and hope everybody's a good night.
Thank you.
Ryan,
Yeah.
before you leave, can I just ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Sorry.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being a company man. And I've known Ryan since elementary school, okay? When did you first have an interest in going to EWCTC?
Probably whenever I visited Mr. Wilson's shop for tours. Every year, whenever you're a freshman, they send you out on like a 9th grade tour. And I actually think we went in 8th grade, but I remember Mr. Wilson had a golf, like mini golf hole around his shop, and that's kind of what first sparked my interest. And just growing up, everybody in my family pretty much is blue collar. My pap was an electrician for the post office. My great-grandfather was a bricklayer, and I just kind of wanted to follow in their footsteps, and I've always had an interest in working with my hands.
I just think, you know, sometimes, you know, we take those trips every year. And I thought maybe you would say that. But I just think, like, so here's a young man who's got this whole path in front of him. And I remember Mr. Wilson saying at our JOC meeting, like, not that he's just a good student, but he's an owner if he wants to be someday. He's a project manager if he wants to be someday. And that tour maybe sparked that interest.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care if it's just Ryan, like, that's awesome. And I wish you well, Ryan, and
Thank you.
like I said, listening to Mr. Wilson talk about you that night at the JOC, and the fact that I know that great things are ahead of you, I'm glad that we played a little part in that journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
You don't have to
the
stay.
company man's now telling you don't have to stay.
You don't have to stay. You don't want to stay.
We're just supporting the basketball team.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, no, wait, hey, Mr. Wilson, you have to stay. It's an opportunity for growth.
Thank you, sir.
And that completes my part of this meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. President. Okay, the first 5 resolutions under my agenda are all agreements with various colleges, universities, people who can help us with treatment and healthcare and things like that. So I'm going to done with those 5 agreements, and they are numbers number 138 through 142. And so I move on those resolutions.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion stands.
And lastly, I move for adoption of resolution number 143 to approve the tuition students for the 22-23 school year for the state.
Second.
Motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes.
Finished, thank you.
Finance, I move for adoption of resolution number 144 to approve a local audit report Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion approved. I move for adoption of resolution number 145, the treasurer's report.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes. I move for adoption of resolution number 146, approval of payment of bills.
Second.
Motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? That motion passes. You're just a little late. I know where you were going. I move for adoption of resolution number 145, the Act 1 resolution not to raise taxes above the index.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes. I move for adoption of resolution number 148, gifts, grants, and donations as listed.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes. I move for adoption of resolution number 149. It's a tax, approved tax appeal settlement.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes. Finance Committee meeting minutes are attached. Next Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, February 14th at 5:30 p.m. at the Senior High School Library. Facilities Operation and Planning, I move for adoption of resolution number 150 to approve the bulk road salt purchase agreement between the City of Latrobe and Greater Latrobe School District.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes. I move for adoption of resolution number 151 to approve bulk road salt purchase agreement between Unity Township and Greater Latrobe School District.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes. I move for adoption of resolution number 152 to approve amendment to the Johnson Control Fire Protection LP Service Agreement.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes. Student Activities Recreation, Mr. Music.
No report this evening?
Thank you, Mr. Music. Community Relations, Mrs. Mays.
Yes, thank you. The next Greater Latrobe Parks and Recreation Commission meeting will be held on Thursday, January the 19th at 4:30 p.m. in the Unity Township Municipal Building. I'll go right on to IU.
All right.
Before I say anything about that, we have a new representative from the IU, and she is with us this evening. So I'd like her to stand, and I'm introducing to you Lauren Cunningham. And she's going to give up her time and come to our meetings to see how we can help the IU. And she's also a resident of the Latrobe School District, and she said she has a child in Mountain View, first grade. So, thank you so much for being willing to do this. So, take a good look. If you have any complaints or anything about the
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And the next WIU committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, January the 24th at 7 p.m. here at the Fort Lincoln Area WIU building.
Thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Mays. Transportation, Mr. Music.
No report this evening?
Thank you, Mr. Music. EWCTC, Joint Operating Committee, Mrs. Kozar.
Yes, our next joint operating committee meeting will be Wednesday, January 25th at 7 p.m. at EWCTC.
Thank you,
And
Mrs.
I'll
Kozar.
just go on to board policy. We are discussing that January 23rd at 10 a.m. in the admin building, our board policy.
Thank
That
you.
completes my report.
Technology, no report this evening. Superintendent's recommendations.
Ask the board, I'm sorry, Mr. President, ask the board to move on resolution number 153 to approve resignations as listed. So moved.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 154 to approve professional personnel substitute teachers as listed.
So moved.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 155, support personnel classified appointments. We have one listed.
So moved.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 156, additional support personnel supplemental appointments for the 22-23 school year as listed. So moved.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? And that motion passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 157 to approve the teacher leader change. This is relative to the resignation that you approved earlier.
So moved.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes.
Finally, ask the board to move on resolution number 158 to approve Patrick O'Neill as a school police officer effective tomorrow, January 18th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
A motion on the floor and second. Questions or comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Other business, as Mr. Maines mentioned last week, kindergarten registration release will be on February the 1st at glsd.us, and kindergarten parent information night will be on February 6th in the senior high school auditorium at 6:30 p.m. Our board meetings for next month are listed there as well, February 14th and February 21st. If I could just circle back, senior night for bowling is scheduled for February the 1st. Our bowlers were supposed to take on another school district, but they had to drop out of the match. Today, Mr. Hyde sent out a text message trying to solicit some staff volunteers to play our kids in a bowling match. Officer Dare agreed. He might have been the first to sign up today.
Is he the ringer?
Well, Zach's the ringer. Okay. But if there was like a 1A ringer, that would be Officer Dare. So he's back there. But I wanted to put that senior night, it's not on here right now. I know we'll have it. But I wanted to put that on your radar for you because I'm sure that's going to be a sight to see. Finally, before I conclude my report, January is School Director Recognition Month. And I just want to take a minute to tell each of you how much I appreciate the time and effort that you put in to our school district. Believe it or not, I've completed my first year as the superintendent of schools. I was back earlier in the month. And I personally want to tell you that it's been a pleasure working with all of you. And I was actually talking to someone today, and I said, I have a board meeting, oh, what's that like? It's okay. But you have to go there with all of those people. Well, it's not like 100, it's 9, first of all, okay? But I said, you know, when they have concerns, they call me. When they want to talk about something, they let me know. And I can't think of a better relationship that a superintendent can have with the Board of Education than open lines of communication. We agree, we disagree. I think we agree when we disagree, which is great. But just the fact that we talk to each other, that we have those conversations, and frankly, what I'm most proud of is that really the only thing you care about is how to make this district better for our kids and for our staff, and how you support everybody that really has that greatest role in our society, which is creating the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. We've talked a lot about retirements coming up and how that's a loss for our district, but I just want to say from my chair, what a pleasure it is to work with you, and how much I appreciate the work that you put into this, the conversations that you have outside of the boardroom that I know you all have with, I mean, if your trips to Giant were anything like mine, they take a little longer than maybe anticipated. But I appreciate that for $0 a year, you put the amount of time into our district that you do, because it does make it a great place for me to be and for our staff and for our students. So, thank you. There was a small gift for you today. I hope you enjoy it. Mrs. Prohosky and I put a lot of thought into those gifts for you this year. We were going to go the old sweatshirt route, but we decided not to do that. So I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to open the floor up to hearing of visitors, part 2. This is where anybody in the audience may stand up to the podium, state your name, address, and speak of any concerns you may have with the district. There's a 3-minute limit. Seeing no one, I move for adoption of resolution number 159, adjournment. A motion on the floor in second. All in favor? Opposed? We are not.